I'm wondering why this movie is unheard of. Why did it just kind of disappear? Because not that I'm the end all be all, but I've never heard of it. I love movies.
Right.
It's one of the only things I do is watch movies. And the
Right.
fact that I never heard of it was quite surprising to me. So why does a movie like this disappear? I don't know.
What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
Welcome back. Marvin's back. Hey, Marvin.
Hey,
Yeah.
good to be back.
Yeah, welcome back, folks at home. This is episode number 166. Yeah, 166. And today we have, it's a special day because it's a Make Marvin Watch Day.
To make both of them watch day.
Dusty's pick this month, we got The World's Fastest Indian starring Anthony Hopkins, a movie I've never heard of, and I suspect you folks at home probably never heard of either. Maybe, I don't know. It seems like one of those rare sort of under
Not
the
that
radar
old.
ones. Not that old at all. 2005. Never heard of it. Never heard of it until it came out of your mouth 2 weeks ago.
Cool.
And I
Yep.
was like, what the f is this movie that he's got us watching? This Indian, like, what the f? We can't say that word no
Yeah.
more. This is a
Right.
problematic movie. I don't know what we're watching. So we got that later, folks. Stick around. How was everybody's week? Marvin, how was your 2 weeks off? You went to what comedy show last week, huh?
I did, yeah. I went to a comedy show on Sunday.
Nice.
That was pretty fun, very enjoyable.
I got this mug for my birthday. You can't see because I have it mirrored, but it
World's
says
Best
"World's
Dan.
Best Dan," and it's true. I am the
No.
world's
Mhm.
best Dan.
I can see it. Yeah, it's normal for me. Or maybe
No,
you're
no,
talking to the audience.
Yeah, the folks can't. So that's cool. You enjoyed
The
the,
one and
show?
only.
Yeah, it was great. I want to go to more.
Nice. Yeah, I used to love going to some comedy shows, but I haven't been to one in a while. Oh no, actually, I'm lying. I went to one last summer. I went to see Louis C.K. That's right. Forgot about that.
Oh,
I haven't
yeah.
been to a comedy show in a while, but I did go to a show last week.
What did you see?
I went to see your favorite guy, Mr. Trent Reznor. It was the last show on their tour. It's their last tour so far. They're going to play some more shows. It was
Nine Inch
getting out
Nails?
that it might be their last show. Yeah, it might be their last show ever because it was the last show on the tour and they didn't have any plans to tour again. But yeah, I've seen Nine Inch Nails before, but Christina hadn't, and she's a huge fan. So we got some tickets and went with some friends and saw it. It was a good show.
Nice.
You guys giving up on the Sheridan verse?
Like I can't keep up, and half the shit's not even good anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Marshall's is really the only thing that's come out. I've been watching it because Casey, I find his character and the family dynamic interesting. He's the only guy that's tried to break away from all that bullshit.
Wait, he got
And
a
this is kind of
spinoff?
him. Yeah, he's the lead in Marshall's.
Well, I didn't even know this existed. I feel like you might have vaguely mentioned it like 2 weeks ago, but we didn't know what you
Yeah.
didn't know what it was exactly. I had no idea. This
Well,
was even
yeah,
a
it was
thing.
called. It was called Y Marshalls, and
Oh,
they
wait.
because they wanted to brand it for Yellowstone, but then they took it off and just called it Marshalls. This
Y
is
Marshalls.
in the Yellowstone. Yeah, Yellowstone Marshalls.
They got
So
ass.
Casey's got a buddy, a combat buddy who he served with that came back and joined the Marshal Service and recruited Casey to join him on some sort of like, we got to go up the hill. We need you. We could use your help. And he kind of gets drawn into it and stays. But it's interesting because it's him trying to still avoid like the history of his family, which I mean,
still
like I said, Casey's he's the only guy that was his wife passed. So this is a couple years after Yellowstone. She's been dead for a while. You learn in the first episode, so it's not really a spoiler.
They made his wife
so it's
pass
just-
away.
She died.
Yes, it's just Casey and his son living on the other side of the Yellowstone Ranch. Yeah,
That's
she's not
fucking
in
stupid.
it.
That's stupid.
She probably didn't want to be in it, maybe.
Yeah,
She
I'm
wanted
sure
to go on to do other things, which makes sense. Now, I'm not really interested in the Beth and Rip spinoff, which is going to take place in Texas, I think. They
Just
move
give
out of the
everybody a fucking
Yellowstone
spinoff. Give
and move
Jimmy
to
a
Texas.
spinoff. Give the fucking Brown
The Quad
Horse a
6
spinoff.
is also in Texas. But there is one, and the Madisons just came out, and it was released. This is the Michelle Pfeiffer, Kurt Russell, Taylor Sheridan universe that has nothing to do with any of the other shows. And it is amazing. Like the first episode, this is also a trauma-based show. Like the first episode, because I have direct relationship with what happens, I cried my eyeballs out like the entire first episode. And every episode since is emotionally draining because it's about loss and grieving through that loss. It just happens to be in Montana where they do it. Taylor Sheridan is an executive producer. I don't believe he's not writing or directing. I think this is just like one of his babies that he liked the story. He let somebody else take care of. A female director. She's done really good. Great cinematography, great story. I highly recommend you guys watch it because this is just about trauma and loss and a family from New York that, like, the dad was vacationing in Montana, and I don't want to spoil anything, but they all end up out there. So it's great. It's great so far. I'm loving it. But it's sad as I guess is what I would say. So
it's resonating with you.
That sounds pretty interesting. I think
yeah, I mean, if you've ever gotten a call, like, hey, somebody died, and if it's been a close relative or family member, like this is a show that will make you cry. It's satisfying.
I would agree with you, Marvin. I would be more interested in this than a show about Casey. Like,
yeah. This is way better than anything he's done in a while. Lioness, I thought was pretty good, but it's fallen off. I'm not so much interested in shows, so some of them I'm watching just because I'm so enveloped in some of the character developments, like Marshall's. I'm interested in how the Casey story ends, but Beth and Rip, I don't care so much. I may watch them, but this is a banger. I would recommend it.
Well, the thing for me is like, who the fuck even knows what he's writing, what his hand is on, what his name is on?
Hard to say.
I don't have the patience to keep up with that shit because that's how you get burnt. Like, you're like,
that's why I hate EP credits.
Oh, that's a Taylor Sheridan project, and then you watch it and it's dog shit, and you're like, wait, what the? How is this so much different than his other stuff? It's like, oh no, he just slapped his name onto it, and I don't have time for that. There's too much other good shit to watch. But
sure,
we'll see. I will. I'll use you as a filter because you watch a lot of stuff. So
yeah, that's fine.
But
I would recommend the Madison. It's good.
No.
Michelle Pfeiffer has nailed her part. Like, she is the person that makes me come back to the show, and Kurt Russell too. Like, but her performance is amazing.
I'll add it right now with Trusty Tracked.
There you go.
This, folks, you type it in. Add to list. Boom. Easy as that.
Yep.
Easy as that. Great way to keep track of your shit. Hashtag not sponsored, not making any money off of that. It's just a good service.
If you want to sponsor us, give us a call, Track. Love it.
I don't know if they have any.
I don't mind sponsors that we use. I'm against sponsors that we don't use. Like,
I mean, I agree. We don't have sponsors at all, but yes, I would not.
Sure, but
want to be
we
sponsored.
start selling
we're not going to
Lunchables or
Better
meal
help
preps and shit. Yeah, I'll be like,
all the shit that Scream Crush does. It's like in the middle of an Avengers conversation, and Ryan's just like, you know what I use?
Oh, you're balding.
Yeah. Speaking of Xavier and his bald head, are you losing your hair like Xavier did when he was young? Well, you should try this product. It's like, Jesus, bro. And they sneakily like wind him into the scripts too. Jerk offs.
I hope we remain a free podcast without advertisements. But if we do advertise, we will only advertise things we love and use. So
yes,
I hope that's the case at least.
Hit us up, Tracked. I'm gonna send them an email. Let's move on to the news. Dusty used to be a newsman, folks. He used to work in video game journalism. Now he does journalism for us here on the podcast. Well, for you, really, because this is for you folks. You folks. Man, my allergies are killing me these days. Like it's cold, it's warm. My eyes are like glassy. I see them on the camera. It's like it looks like I've smoked weed before this, and I don't even smoke. I just look stoned. Like my eyes are just burning and watering 24/7. Awful.
Yep, it's bad. I got a slight headache right now.
Oh, do you?
From allergies. Yep.
Maybe after the show, I'll give you a little nice temple massage. Would you like that, Marvin?
Sounds good.
You could lean back on my gallant chest and I'll rub away. Yeah. Let's get into it here, folks.
All right.
What you got for us this week, Dusty?
Well, we're talking about prices. We got Netflix just got a $2.8 billion payout from Paramount for its failed Warner Brothers deal. And then they turned around and raised the prices on millions of customers again.
Yet again.
So yeah, this is they raised them I think early last year and then again this year. So
It's hard to keep track.
Yeah,
They raised the
It is.
prices
Yearly at this point.
Yeah, more than that. I feel like it's got to be biannual.
End of
like
last
every
year,
2
yeah,
years.
it was
It's got to be
yeah.
every like twice a year at this point.
it's at least once a year.
They raised their prices like Taylor Sheridan's putting out shows. Shit's crazy.
Yeah, the ad-supported tier will rise by $1 per month to $8.99, with the standard plan rising by $2 a month to $19.99, and the premium plan also rising $2 per month to $26.99 per month.
That's crazy.
They also raised the cost of its extra member fee by $1 to $6.99 for ad-supported plans and $9.99 for ad-free plans. So if you want to add people to your account, that's even going to cost more. So you can't even share without paying more now. It's insane. This is what $30 a month to have Netflix in your home and share it with another home.
So they could produce movies like War Machine that you could.
And
just
if you
fucking
add that
play
up,
in the
It ain't gonna produce itself.
That's true.
you're gonna pay $120 for all the services, just like you would DirecTV. So if you're gonna pay for all of them, why not just go back to DirecTV?
It's actually madness.
Snip.
It's actually madness, and nobody thinks about it.
Cut the cord.
I talked to so many people who were just like, they just pay it, and they because it's like it's just the new normal. They don't question it. They don't think about
That's
it.
what they're used to. Yeah.
I can honestly say I don't think I've paid for besides Amazon Prime because I use their shipping product.
They even
I don't think I've
that.
paid. I know, and I'm gonna cancel soon because I don't think I use it enough anymore to get the free shipping. I'd rather just wait an extra day or two. But I haven't paid for video services in probably almost 2 decades.
Yeah.
Love that.
I do love that for you. And that's just they don't leave you any options, really. I mean, to be honest with you. And I've had people like try to like fuck, not that we're talking about piracy, folks. We would never talk about that. But
oh yeah, no.
People are like, they try to hit you with the what was that called? Like holier than thou bullshit of like, oh, don't you care about supporting? It's like, I care about supporting the company that is actively over actors and crews and VFX teams and like all this shit. Get out of here. Give me a break. Grow up. Grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
So Ted Sarandos could make $1 billion a fucking year salary and play games with like, oh yeah, we're gonna buy Warner Brothers, but like literally only doing it so he could make this whatever the payout that you just mentioned, or buying Ben Affleck's shitty AI thing that's gonna put thousands of people out of work. Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, support them. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Well, speaking of piracy, we might as well jump to it. Werner Herzog, we'll go to this X post.
My boy.
Kind of what we're talking about. Apparently, piracy is the most effective way to preserve movie history, at least according to Werner Herzog. What do you think about this one, Dan?
Yeah, Werner Herzog is a director, for those of you that don't know. He's also been in some stuff.
He's an amazing director and actor.
Yeah,
yes.
He was in Jack Reacher, the first one. So according to him, piracy is the most effective way to preserve movie history. And somebody who I bookmarked on Twitter said, especially for older, obscure films, and Werner Herzog was saying on a podcast that basically it's the most successful form of distribution. And he's like, if that's the case, then so be it. If movies are accessible and this is how people discover them, then that's that.
Well, this is how people discover piracy, because they're not always accessible.
Right.
Somebody might stumble across a movie, or maybe they bought a movie like me. I enjoy some stuff, and I bought something on Amazon that I wanted to play later 100 times over because I love the movie. And 10 months later, they dropped that movie off their list, and I can't even watch it on Amazon, even though I purchased it.
Yep.
I bought it. I didn't rent it. I didn't pay the $3.99 for the 24. I bought it.
Right.
And now I can't watch it anymore. So that $20 I spend is wasted because it's no longer on their platform. So now I have to go find some other platform and buy it again. And with no any certainty that it's going to stay on that platform, it could move to another platform where I have to buy it again. So this whole piracy is like, this is where people get sick of this shit and say, I'm just going to download the thing and watch it as many times as I can. I'm sick of paying you cunts.
Yep.
Stop it.
Mhm.
So this is where we're at.
And what it is really it's an argument in favor of what we talked about not too long ago, physical media, and how we should fight to bring that back. However, they meaning them, they have made it so that they have slowly inched physical media out of the consumer space. Like we've said, DVD players aren't as accessible as they once were. Blu-ray players are starting to become less accessible. Blu-rays and DVDs are becoming less accessible. I just saw somebody posted a copy of Send Help, which recently I think just came out. Or I think it was it Send Help? I don't remember what movie it was. I think it was Send Help, but it was like $70 for a Blu-ray. Like, what?
Wow.
It was like somewhere in that price range. And so, like, they are purposefully pushing out this, the legacy type of media to essentially corral people to streaming services and digital. They did the same thing with music. So, yeah, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly with what he's saying here, and this is the quote too. If buying something isn't ownership, as is with the case with Amazon, then piracy is not stealing. That
any of them. Netflix is guilty of this. HBO Max, they're all guilty of buying movies and putting them on their platform and then not sustaining that movie, and it leaves their platform. And you can't ever watch it again.
The other thing that's sneaky, especially with Netflix, I don't know if the other companies are the same. I'd imagine they are. Is behind the scenes, they're wheeling and dealing with rights and geography rights and all this stuff. And so it's like, oh, this week, Forrest Gump is available in America, but tomorrow it's not. So what the fuck am I paying for Netflix for if not everything is available to me? And so we were talking about advertising and doing like ad reads and shit like that. One of the biggest sponsors that you hear about when you're on YouTube and stuff from people is for VPNs. And what's the one thing VPN, like the number one VPN like sell is like, hey, do you want to watch movies that you can't find on Netflix that are out of market? Just use a VPN, and all of a sudden you can watch stuff that's only available in France. It's like I don't want to do all that, and so it is what it is. But there are millions of cinephiles today who wouldn't have been exposed to great films if not for piracy. In countries like India, it is the only way to watch older movies since the other options are unaffordable for normal working people. Most studios and almost all the streaming platforms don't care about preserving movies, but the pirates do. We are forever indebted to their passion and hard work.
Yeah.
And this is something
shout out.
There's even niche communities beyond like normal piracy that have like super like niche stuff where you have to like
talking about snuff films and shit? You talking about the dark web, Marvin?
No. Just like old documentaries, foreign films, foreign like reality TV shows, that sort of thing. Like just really niche stuff. Yeah.
This is a very good point. It's a very good point that doesn't often come up when it comes to piracy, because I feel like people think about piracy like just watching stuff that's in theaters, right? Like a bootleg.
Right. Bootleg. That's the
I feel like excuse me.
Well, that was piracy before the digital distribution age, though, because you could go down to your local guy and he's selling a bootleg copy.
When I used to be a manager at AT&T back in the day in my early 20s, I used to have a guy come around every week. He used to come around with his little rolly suitcase and have a whole slew of DVDs and shit. And
more prevalent in the big cities, for sure.
A lot of porn, too. Yeah, he used to sell a lot of porn. Yeah. I was born in the flames of piracy, baby. Napster, Kazaa.
Napster and LimeWire turned into the Pirate Bay and Demonoid. Do you remember Demonoid, Dan?
I don't remember Demonoid, but I do remember...
Pirate Bay is still around.
Pirate Bay, it is still
Demonoid,
around.
I think, still is. It was an invite only. You had to know somebody that was on that torrent site in order to be able to use
I was part of a music site like that.
Okay.
LimeWire gave me a lot.
And now they're just
viruses.
websites that just share it freely, which is amazing. You could just stream anything.
Right.
There was
I got a lot of viruses from LimeWire back in the day before I knew about viruses.
I recently saw,
or even downloading a song that was in a different language or not the right song. Like, mislabeling was bad.
I recently saw a post on Twitter that was about the guy who made the Pirate Bay. He was just like some Swedish guy or something, like in his basement.
Yep.
Quietly being a gangster.
Shout out to the Swedes.
But yeah, so that's something to consider. If you're going to white knight and shit on people who are like, oh, you're just stealing. It's like, nah, not necessarily. Think about it before you throw out your criticism. I don't mind paying for stuff. It's not about paying for it. I pay for things all the time. It's just,
if it's a quality service with a quality product, yes, absolutely. Most people don't mind paying for a quality product and a quality service. The problem is these companies keep raising the prices and putting out an inferior product, i.e. Netflix.
Yep.
So you can't, you just walk away from it. You're like, F you guys.
Hey, pay us $40 a month for ads and War Machine. Yeah, okay. Give me a fucking break. Yeah, Piracy is good, folks. Give it a chance. What else you got for us? It's real
affordable.
Real good.
All right, well.
Okay, so moving on from Piracy, one thing I wanted to talk about, I forgot to mention it to you, Dusty, so I'll just bring it up here, but this isn't really a big deal, but I think this is very cool. Andy Muschietti confirmed that we're going to get an It Supercut. He says it's happening. Also, they are actively working on season 2 now of
Welcome to Derry,
which you have to watch, sir.
I still need. It's on the list. I'm coming to it soon.
But as you know, it is 2 parts, chapter 1 and chapter 2. But apparently, he's putting together a chronological film supercut that combines both chapters, and I would assume does it similarly to the book. Marvin recently read the book, so you'll know, Marvin. It's not just like
I'm not finished reading the book.
I thought you did.
Nope.
Oh.
You know nothing about me, apparently.
I can't. You don't finish.
Well, he knows you opened the book and started reading.
This guy
he knows that much.
You're not a completionist. Correct. That's what I know about you. You're not a completionist. You start the X-Files, you don't finish it. It's been 2 months since you watched the X-Files. You'll come back to it 6 months from now. You're hard to keep track of. Anyway.
All right, Dan. Hold on. We got Andor.
Wait. Yeah, all right. That's fair.
Yeah, all right.
But you started reading it, so you already know that it's like not just this is the section of kids, this is the section when they're adults. It jumps back and forth. So
yeah, that's
what he's going to be doing, I guess, which is cool. I'm excited for that. If you're an It fan, this will be the definitive way to watch it. Hell yeah, 6 hours, baby.
6 hours, yeah.
I might just hold off and binge this whole thing around fall Halloween time.
I got to.
That would be fun.
A rare harsh language moment, but I got to give Zack Snyder props here for his Watchmen adaptation. As flawed as it is, I still think it's one of the better comic book adaptations there is. There was a director's cut, and as is naturally the state of a Zack Snyder project. You can't have
17 hours longer.
You can't have a Zack Snyder thing without a director's cut. But his director's cut actually does the Watchmen the way it is in the comic books. It's like 4 hours long. Because they had done. You read Watchmen, right, Dusty?
Yes.
Remember the comic book within the comic book that the kid is reading throughout about the pirates? Yep. I forget what it's called. But they did an animated movie of that. Gerard Butler played the pirate, like the main guy.
I didn't know that.
What is it called? Watchmen pirate comic. Can't remember the name of it. Tales of the Black Freighter. So, Marvin, so throughout the Watchmen graphic novel, there's a kid at a newsstand that he shows up to the newsstand like every week, and he's reading a weekly comic book called Tales of the Black Freighter. And in sections of Watchmen, the narrative just completely switches to Tales of the Black Freighter. And so after Watchmen came out, they did an animated movie of Tales of the Black Freighter separately. So Zack Snyder's director's cut of Watchmen intertwines the animated movie Tales of the Black Freighter in all the places where it is in the comic book.
That's kind of cool.
Pretty good.
So I have it as the director's cut. It's like thick, but it's like 4.5 hours long, but it's like the definitive way.
Wait, you bought the physical copy of it?
I had bought this years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is like the definitive way It's probably DVD. It's a pretty old.
Okay.
But that's like the definitive way to watch Watchmen. If you're going to watch it, it's really good. So this seems cool.
Check that out.
I've seen Watchmen, but just the regular version.
Yeah, it's great. If you have the time to sit down and watch it. Same with Lord of the Rings. Like, there's no other way to watch Lord of the Rings than the director's cuts, but like they're long and they take some time. It's coming, Marvin.
Walking.
It's coming. It was going to be this month. I thought about it. I thought very, very seriously about it too. So it's coming because our next piece of news actually is in relation to it. Dusty, you want to?
Yeah, we could talk about the Peter Jackson got on social media this last week with new details on the future of Middle Earth. First, he talked about Andy Serkis's The Hunt for Gollum. This is set for a 2027 release date, and according to him, it looks amazing, and the script is coming along nicely.
Yeah.
However, the big reveal is the next movie in the lineup, Lord of the Rings, Shadows of the Past, which most notably is who's developing it.
Yeah,
Stephen Colbert and his son, screenwriter Peter McGee, are working on this project together. Now, Peter Jackson got on social media and talked about this, and he brought Stephen Colbert on. Stephen had this to say: "You know what the books mean to me and what your films mean to me, but the thing I found myself reading over and over again were the 6 chapters early on in the Fellowship of the Ring that y'all never developed into the first movie back in the day. It's basically chapter 3 through chapter 8. So yeah, he came up with this idea and he passed it along to his son. And once him and his son developed a storyboard for it, he pitched it to Peter Jackson, and they've been working on it in secret for basically the last 2 years with fellow screenwriter Felipe Boyens. And so yeah, they have a script, and we have a log line. 14 years after the passing of Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin set out to retrace their first steps of their adventure. Meanwhile, Sam's daughter Eleanor has discovered a long-buried secret and is determined to uncover why the War of the Ring was very nearly lost before it even began. So we got new Lord of the Rings in the pipe, written by Stephen Colbert, who is an admitted, like you can find clips of him online. They will test his knowledge of Lord of the Rings, and he almost never ever misses the question. He knows so much about this shit. It's actually kind of frightening.
Yeah, he's
like how much into he is a lore nerd.
He's the definition of a super fan. Yeah.
He is the definition of a nerd when it comes to the subject of Lord of the Rings. And I respect him for that because anybody who has that much admiration for something, I think you should give him a shot at it. I think we should do this more.
I agree.
Where people who love the content and are capable, let them have the reins rather than control. Like, what's his name? Henry Cavill ran into this a lot. And a lot of the projects he's done, we've talked about, he loved the projects, but they didn't give him the reins. They told him what to do, and he hated it and left it. And most of those shows are shit because of it. Let the people who love the project take the project. I'm okay with this. This is probably one of the better Lord of the Rings things that's going to come out.
Think outside the box.
Yes.
The other thing too is like, you know, and it, like, you know, it's interesting because like, you know, you had talked about this last week too, about how like, not last week, a couple weeks ago when we talked about F1, I just was editing it.
Yes.
I know. But you were saying how like one of the things that bothers you about the industry is that they recycle a lot of the same people, like same directors, same writers, and they should give people like a chance. Like just because you're not a writer, a professional writer or a director doesn't mean you can't have a hand in a creative thing. Like, you know, I'm a Halloween super fan. Maybe I've come up with a really good idea for a Halloween movie and the studio hires me, but they have me working alongside like an actual screenwriter and an actual director. So I'm there kind of guiding their hands, and they're the ones like, you know, making it into a movie because I don't have that skill set. That's like a world that I want to live in. That'd be sick. There's probably so many creative minds out there that like love a thing that can contribute to it in a meaningful way that will never get an opportunity to do those things because, you know, most times they'd rather hire, I don't know, the bitch who was writing the Witcher TV series, who admittedly was like, yeah, don't give a fuck about the source material. I'm making it whatever I want to make it. And you're going to just either watch it or not. Like those people, quite honestly, go get a job at Walmart. Like you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. Because you don't care about it.
And we have examples of studios giving people who have this passion the opportunity to play the role, but not the opportunity to develop the role, write the role, or produce the role.
Yeah.
Like Channing Tatum's Gambit is a perfect example. Or like I said, Henry Cavill's Geralt is a perfect example of these guys loved these characters growing up as kids so much, and they just wanted nothing more than to play them and portray them to us.
Mm-hmm.
And they were given that opportunity, but they were on a leash. They were told,
yeah,
this is how you're going to act. This is the scene. You don't get to change it. And if you don't like what it does to the character, if it destroys your perception of the character and the audience, we don't care because this is what we're doing. And this is the problem with Hollywood, I think, is that they make executive decisions that the fans don't want.
Yep. 100%. I like this. I like at first glance, it's like, oh, Stephen Colbert, that's weird. And also there's like the political element to it because he's like,
I can get past the political stuff because I know he's a Tolkien.
But it's not even political stuff. He's just a fucking Democrat. Who cares? Like he was made a political target by our dumbass president and administration. So it's like
I think he dug some of his own hole. Like there was some stuff during the COVID years when he's doing the COVID dance like that. That's propaganda.
Whatever.
He was doing propaganda for a little while.
They all do. Well, I don't care. I don't have any personal connection to him.
Sure.
But like,
I don't either.
It doesn't affect his ability. Like I think that's part of why people were like kind of, oh, really? Stephen Colbert is going to do it? But like, no, he's a fan. He's the one who should be. He's the person who should be doing it. Like it's going to be good. I
love Stephen on the Daily Show. I love Stephen on the Colbert Report. Yeah. I lost Stephen when he went to late night.
Yeah,
and
but think about it.
Started leaning more into propaganda than comedy.
Most of that's not his fault, I would imagine.
No, it's not.
But the other thing too is the other thing that I think needs to be said here, because there is reason to be skeptical for sure, because Hollywood is rife with remakes and reboots and retools and all this stuff, and they're always bad. And this is 25 years later, so, and it's a beloved franchise, but it's all the same people coming back. Peter Jackson's involved, the writers, the same crew people, like everybody's excited about it, everybody's on board, and so I think it'll be a
passion project.
Yeah,
probably not everybody. Don't say everybody.
What do you mean?
There's always going to be people that don't want new stuff of their favorite stuff.
No, I mean everybody on board.
Most of the people that made the last stuff great are coming back.
No, you're right, Marvin. Yeah. I mean the people who actually made it. Like
I see.
Yeah.
I'm talking about fans.
No,
There's always going to be unhappy fans.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm addressing. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, I don't know about this. This is a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they're doing two movies. The Hunt for Gollum that Dusty mentioned. Andy Serkis is directing that, but Peter Jackson's also involved, and some of the other people are involved. That one
next year.
That one is based on. So Marvin, you don't know, but Lord of the Rings is pretty interesting creatively. Tolkien wrote a lot of stuff after the fact, like after the books were published. And they were appendices to the books. He had like notes that he took about characters that he added lore to and stuff. There's a whole separate book called The Silmarillion, which is a bunch of just scattered thoughts and notes and things that his son put together after his death that like expands the universe, expands the lore. There's another book called Guide to Middle Earth, which is like defines the languages of like the elves, and it's such a complex and insane universe to get involved in. So, but there's endless amounts of stories to tell. So the Hunt for Gollum, to my understanding, is taken from some of these like side story notes and things. And then this, specifically the one that Stephen Colbert is a part of, as Dusty mentioned, is from chapters of Fellowship of the Ring that was never included in the movie because, you have already a 2.5, 3-hour movie. Like
you got to cut stuff unless you're Zack Snyder.
Yeah, unless you're Zack Snyder. And then you don't cut stuff and you do it in slow motion and in black and white.
For 14 hours.
Incest.
And you add incest and all sorts of stuff for no reason.
That's right.
Imagine... I can't.
Nope, I don't want to imagine anything with incest.
Imagine wanting Wonder Woman, an Amazonian, a god, basically, whose power rivals that of Superman's, and you want her to be by a human man. Okay. That's a real
crazy.
Real good choice there. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Try to rip Wonder Woman. She'll fucking rip you in half with these. Like, give me a break. Dumb ass. I hope that. Forget. I don't even want to get into it. So Lord of the Rings. I'm excited for that. Very excited.
Yeah.
Marvin, you will be watching Lord of the Rings soon.
Yeah.
So get ready.
I am ready, actually.
Yeah, I think you would like it. I mean, I know you said you're not really like into high fantasy, but like, it's just the greatest story ever told. It's just as simple as that.
Allegedly.
It is. You'll see. You will see. Well, thank you for the news, Dusty. Let's get in to this week's review and this month's Make Marvin Watch, folks. That's right. Marvin hasn't seen shit. So once a month, Dusty and I take turns picking a movie that we think Marvin should see that he hasn't. This month was Dusty's choice, and he chose The World's Fastest Indian, which
we were talking racing
Native
movies and
American.
sports movies, and Dan wasn't a fan, so I specifically picked one for that reason.
Yeah, I am historically not a huge fan of sports movies outside of like, you know, a couple here and there. But yeah, so we got The World's Fastest Indian. And again, this isn't just to make Marvin watch today. This is to make Dan watch because I never heard of this movie until recently. So let's get into it. So everyone says they want original, feel-good driven movies, but then a movie like The World's Fastest Indian exists and nobody talks about it. It's one of those movies that's just kind of quietly great, in my opinion. Anthony Hopkins was incredible in it. It's genuinely inspiring. And I'm wondering why this movie is unheard of. Why did it just kind of disappear? Because not that I'm the end all be all, but I've never heard of it. I love movies. It's one of the only things I do is watch movies. And the fact that I never heard of it was quite surprising to me. So why does a movie like this disappear? I don't know, but let's get into it. So this is the story of Burt Munro from New Zealand, who spent over 20 years, 25 years, rebuilding a 1920 Indian motorcycle, which helped him
20s to the 40s,
which helped him set the land speed record at Utah's Bonneville Salt Flats in 1967. This is based on a true story.
40 years, 20s to the 60s.
Yes. Based on a real man and a real event that is still talked about in racing circles, motorcycle enthusiast circles. In that realm, this is a cult classic movie, but outside of that, generally unheard of, untalked about. So yeah, Dusty, real quick, why did you? What made you pick this one? Because you kind of picked it out of nowhere. You're like, let's do The World's Fastest Indian.
Well,
like,
but I mean, again, we were talking. I think we watched F1 last month, and we were talking sports movies. And I think there are some sports movies which I understand. I get it. You don't like it. Like if it's a football movie or maybe even Marty Supreme. We weren't a big fan, even though it exemplifies a sport most people don't know too much about. But I think there are tragically underrated sports movies like this one, wherein it is a single person's determination and triumphant ability to overcome the odds. And it's just a wonderful, enlightening story that should be told and needs to be told. And especially if it's a true story, that it doesn't matter if you're a sports fan or not, you can get behind and understand and empathize with the drive that takes somebody to where they are in this story, which is Burt Munro. So the reason that I love this movie is I hadn't seen it in a while. I owned this on Blu-ray. I watched it. Nice. I've probably seen this movie dozens of times. I couldn't tell you how many, but I like to go back to it every now and again just because it's a wonderful story of individual determination and fighting through all the adversity. And I think that's a compelling human story. You can tell this a million times in movies and it never gets old.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty simple movie, to be honest. There's not a lot of thrills and frills. It's a pretty basic road trip movie. And obviously we'll talk about it later, but like relies very, very heavily on Anthony Hopkins' performance in this. And it's just, it's just a simple sort of sentimental type of movie that has a pretty niche audience, I would say, but I still think it's a movie that on paper it should be more popular than it is to general audiences. So Marvin, I don't know, first time seeing it, what are your thoughts? Does it hold up?
Oh,
it's not that
I
old
love
either.
this movie. Yeah, I the way they filmed it, and obviously it was like I guess a period piece. So I thought it was a lot older than it was.
It felt much older. Yeah.
It felt like it was filmed in like the 70s or some shit.
Well, don't
like
forget, Marvin, 2005 is 25 years old. It's 25 years.
Well, it won cinematography awards in Australia.
21.
Yeah.
Didn't really win any American awards, but it won a lot of awards in Australia for cinematography and filming.
Don't forget, Marvin, 2005 was 100 years ago.
Yeah, Dan's just making up numbers at this point. He's just
no, it does.
Yeah, and
it did feel older than it was. I agree with you.
Yeah, I actually don't think this is a niche movie.
Really?
No, I think anybody could watch this movie and enjoy it.
No, it can be. I'm saying it is a niche movie.
Oh, you're saying the context?
It is, yeah, it is. It just is niche. I'm saying it does, but I don't think it should be. Is the thing I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I love that. This is a movie that inspires you to like go out and
live your
life.
Not
only chase your dreams, but also shows you the benefits of just being like a good, kind person. I think it actually broke multiple bests for me, and so it was the best racing movie I've seen by far. I think.
Yeah.
This also was the best Dusty Make Marvin Watch.
Oh wow!
I've seen so far.
Great one. It's a banger.
I don't actually, it's interesting. We should go through and
like a best. Yeah.
No, see who like
we get a lot of 10s out of Marvin's Make Marvin Watches, so the best.
No, I mean
it's gonna be too hard. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna say separate what I've chosen and what Dusty's chosen because I don't actually remember.
Right.
I just know that I'm always a little bit worried about Dusty's picks because of that horse Australian movie.
I love the horse movie.
Manchester is great.
There's just a part of me that's like, oh. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so this is the best one Dusty's picked for you, huh?
Yeah, it was really good.
That's big. That is big.
I wasn't sure if I would enjoy it. I thought he was just like, oh, I'm gonna make them watch another car movie because they didn't really like the other car movie. But actually watching it, I thought it was really good. It had a great runtime for me. Performances were great. I like the many different types of people that they were even showing throughout his road trip.
Yeah.
This was when drag was the big deal, not trans. And they still put it in the film, and it was great. It was not in your face, objectively. Sure, yes, absolutely. But I'm saying, like, at the time, 20 years ago, trans wasn't as popularized. So it was more like,
it was like
it was more just drag.
For sure.
The nomenclature was different.
And there was only a few people, especially in the 60s when this takes place. It was very, very rare for that to be a thing.
Fewer and farther between. But to hit on that note and not do it in a way that is...
Well, the movie is from 2005, so...
It wasn't demeaning or anything. It was actually very nice to see it portrayed that way, Because, I mean, trans people
just be nice to an individual and you got it. Like that's what just be nice to a person.
Yeah.
And you got it. Like doesn't matter.
I didn't know what to expect from this movie. Like I was slightly joking, but I didn't expect to enjoy this because just, I don't know, the title of it, the poster art is like a little bit goofy and low budget looking. I was just like, what the fuck are we getting into here? But I really love this movie. And shockingly, was very emotional throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Like in the first couple of scenes too, like I got a little teary-eyed because I don't know, there was just something about, and this is all based on his performance, I think, but just his good nature and it was just, I don't know, it was just very heartwarming.
His acting felt it felt real, like his reactions to finding out, like, hey, you're gonna get to run, or hey, you're not gonna, like they felt real, like but, he nailed it.
Well, because he plays it with, I mean, obviously he's one of the greatest actors to ever live, but he played this with a sincerity that he's just like, I don't want to say simple man in terms of like he's like, dim, but like
No, he's smart enough to make that.
He's just a simple
55 mile an hour motorcycle go 200 miles.
He's a simple man towards the end of his life, and he knows it and recognizes it, and like he just wants to do this thing that he's passionate about, and he does it, and it's really nice to see. But what stood out more to me than that, even more than this wasn't even. It's like barely a racing movie. Like, yeah, he breaks the land speed record, but it happens in like the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's really what this movie's about. Now, I don't know. Oh my God, somebody's cooking steak and it's coming through my window. Good God, that smells good. I don't know like anything about this guy in real life, and I don't know how much of his real life persona was portrayed in the movie. I'm sure it's pretty
Hollywoodized.
Accurate. I'm sure it is.
He came to the Salt Flats before he raced to check them out. So the whole movie of this is the first time I've ever been here. I didn't know I had to pre-register. Like some of that is bullshit, but I'm just saying like, he's.
I'm talking about his personality. I don't know how much of his like. A lot of times when actors are portraying a real person, they will like, talk to them and interview them and like get to know them and try to like become them. I don't know if that was done with this. I didn't really look into it, but he
was an old man in 1967. I doubt he was alive in 2005 when they shot him.
He probably wasn't. So at that point you'd go and ask, try to get in touch with people who
family members,
known him, or
neighbors,
came in contact with him. So I don't really know what kind of person he was, but at least the way he's portrayed in the movie is just a good-natured, like nice man. And
well-intentioned, kind-hearted, yes.
And he has no preconceived notions about people or anything really. And he, it's a fish out of water story too, because he comes to America for the first time in the film, and he goes to LA in Hollywood, which is like they call it in the movie Hollyweird, which is like one of the weirdest places on earth at that time. And as Marvin mentioned, he befriends a trans person who works at this like motel that he gets to stay at, but like the motel specifically for like motel. Going to hookers.
The Flamingo. Yeah.
And clearly it's a trans person, but he just doesn't even register in his head, but it's because he only sees a human being. It doesn't matter. And there's this scene at the diner where he says to her, he calls her like sweetheart or something, and she's like, I'm not a woman, or I'm not a girl, and it's like, I'm a man. Changes her voice.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And he continues to like recognize her as a woman because it just doesn't register to him. And that's like the way people should be. It shouldn't be like, oh yeah, I get it that there's like this, it's a weird.
Well, he makes the quip too when she drops him off and he gets out of the car and he kisses her through the window. Yeah. He says something along the lines of, it's a good thing you're doing a great job of making me believe you're a woman. Like he actually says the thing like, I shouldn't be kissing you because you're a man, but you're so good at being who you are that I feel okay doing this.
Right.
And I think that in itself is an admission of you're a wonderful person, and I know you're not who you are, but the person you're being is wonderful, and I can accept that, which is
they
something we lost.
They are being the person that they are, and that's why it doesn't really matter to him. And at the end of the day, it shouldn't matter what somebody's identity is, whether it be a black person, a white person, a Chinese person. I understand identity is important, and I'm not saying that should be like erased, because there is some pride to be taken in who you are, especially culturally, especially in America, when some cultures are like swept aside and
especially your immutable traits.
I'm saying is like we should see beyond that and just see human beings at the end of the day, and that's what he does.
Yes.
And to me, that stood out more than the actual race. That stood out to me more than the road trip stuff. It's that was the heart of the movie, is this guy and the many lives that he touches just by being a nice guy.
Yep.
And what's weird to me, it's not weird, it's actually sad, is that the way the modern world is, I expected, I had said this to you about Shrinking too. I watched Shrinking, and I'm always waiting for like an axe to drop. That never comes. It's not that type of show. Like just brief side thing, Marvin, you're 2 episodes behind, but you saw when Derek went to the hospital?
Yes.
Like,
I saw the heart scare.
Like I almost threw up when he had to go in for surgery.
Yeah, I was scared.
So I was like, if this fucking guy dies, I'm gonna die. But after the episode, I was like, oh, he was never gonna die, because it's not that type of show. It's not a show about tragedy. It is, but it's not about the tragedy. It's about how you overcome it and deal with it. This movie was the same for me in that it's not about tragedy. Right. I just kept expecting like something bad to happen, and it never did. And that's something that I think is we're conditioned to think by A, our reality, and B, by the way modern media is. You don't get movies like this really much anymore that are just about
like good, hope, perseverance.
Yeah, wholesome things. And so the whole movie, I'm like, oh man, something's going to happen. Oh man, his thing's going to break. Yeah. Oh man, he's going to die. Oh man.
Well, that's because there's something compelling about overcoming adverse tragedy. There's obviously good storytelling in that, but to presume it to be in every story, they don't all need it. And this didn't have it and it didn't need it.
Yeah. Oh, take a break. Marvin dropped again.
No, okay. I'm here. My camera was...
Would it overheat?
No, I don't know what's going on. It's like not focusing though or something. But we're good.
Yeah. So that was the real standout to me more than anything else. It was just everybody it came into contact with ended up like really admiring him and liking him, not just for his perseverance, but just because he was just like a nice dude. And that was great to see. But yeah, so the whole thing, this is 100% sold by Anthony Hopkins' performance. I mean, like, this might be, I saw some, I've seen it. It's, I have reading some stuff like some say this is the best performance of his career, or at least it's one of.
It's one of. I wouldn't say the best, but it is definitely one of.
Yeah, I would easily say that based on the things that I've seen.
This is on his what the mountain with all the faces.
Mount Rushmore.
This is Rushmore of films, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Blue agrees. I don't know if like, I'm not saying the movie was bad without him. It's still a good movie and a great story, but I don't know if it works as well as it does without him, without his performance. Like, it really, really
he definitely was carrying like most of it. Like, they did have good chemistry, like him and the kid.
Sure.
And most of the people he came across with, he made it seem like they had good chemistry or they worked well together. But I do think most of it hinged on his performance.
Man, I'm getting choked up now even thinking about when he called that kid at the end. Oh my!
That's when I teared up when he finally called the kid.
Teared up. I was like hyperventilating. I was like,
I've seen it too many times, so it doesn't affect me the same. But when I first watched it the first couple of times, it was very emotional.
Like, God.
Yeah.
But I also have some history in this, I guess I would say. Not land speed record stuff, but
speed record?
No, I roomed with a guy who raced flat bottom V drive boats, and up here in Northern California, it's a big thing. And Tony Scarlatta is a well-known boat racer, and I watched him break the water speed record. It wasn't official, so it didn't count, but I was there for him when he, I think he hit 137 in one of his jet boats, but I also saw him hit the water speed record unofficially. So like, there's things about this stuff, like it I don't know, it hits me in different ways because I was involved in the boat racing community a little bit, never really got into motorcycle racing or stuff. I like racing, but just being involved in the water speed record and seeing somebody break that record and then watching this movie and seeing that, this was all around the same time. So this movie holds a place where like I was doing something and it was part of that whole thing. So like, not officially, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can understand that. So Marvin, having watched it now in 2026 in a very, very shitty real world, why do you think a movie like this that is, you know, full of hope and optimism and stuff like that, why do you think it doesn't, I don't want to say resonate, because it definitely would resonate, but why do you think it's not like in the zeitgeist? Like, why don't people why isn't this, I've never heard of this movie before, ever. Why is that a thing?
I don't know. I mean, it's similar to, I feel like for me, his persona, his character, like his personality is similar to that of something like a Superman. So if you're looking for this type of inspiration or this type of like upstanding person, you would just go for like Superman or something like that, because it's like almost the same.
That's fair. Yeah. The movie itself.
Yeah, it's a little sad that that's the case though. Whereas like an individual human story is
Right,
less
yeah.
compelling than Superman because Superman is a superhero.
Well,
type
I mean,
I agree 100%.
don't make me bloviate about Superman, but I mean, it is a very human story. That's why Superman resonates.
Sure, yeah. But you understand the context in which we're talking
Yes, of course. Yeah,
how
yeah.
this is not it's hard to hold a candle to somebody like Superman when this is just an individual Kiwi.
But I'm not necessarily talking about the real guy. Obviously, if you tell anybody like, hey, there was this guy who was like really driven and motivated to do this specific thing, everybody's going to be like, oh, wow, that's really cool. I'm just talking about the movie itself. Like, forget the real guy. Just as a movie, like, you don't hear about it really. Like, hey, it was a really good fucking the world's fastest Indian. Like, you never really hear that in discussions about like good movies. And, for me, just watching it for the first time, this is up there among like the better movies I've ever seen, especially from the early 2000s. I mean, from a movie perspective, like it's not flashy, it's not super cinematic, like there's not a lot of like real like brilliant cinematography going on in this or anything like that. It's maybe that's probably why like there's not a lot. This movie wasn't made for like internet discourse. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of.
It's the same as like Train Dreams, right? Like there's not a lot of flash, or it's just very simple. So
it's not a clickable movie, clippable.
Yeah.
There's no controversy to it. There's no edge to it. So I guess that's probably why. But this old fashioned feel I think is sorely needed. And I think that's why Train Dreams resonated with, at least with me. That's why I love that movie so much. But yeah, it's just not optimized for like the internet, I guess, conversation. But even still, you would think among like film buffs of people, like, because I go on like I'm in like the film Reddit, this stuff, and just to like get an idea of what people are talking about for the podcast, right? But no, never heard this movie mentioned, never heard of it. It's and again, maybe because it's simple and understated and just like basic, but I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's why this I think is a hidden gem. Go ahead. What were you saying?
But dated movies are hard to be as prevalent. Something that was great 20 years ago isn't going to be as necessarily highlighted today.
Yeah.
Because there's just the box office today, like, oh, this is the biggest box office we've ever had. They made $100 billion in the first week. It's like, well, yeah, there's more people.
Yeah.
And ticket prices are higher and blah, blah, blah. So it's easier to kind of sweep stuff like this under the rug and forget about it until somebody who like actually truly has a thread to it says, I love this movie, you need to watch it. Sometimes they get forgotten, and that's sad.
Yeah,
it's the way it is.
Yeah, there's just so much content out there, so it's like hard for it all to stay relevant.
Well, something like this, I think, is probably a hidden gem for the reasons that we've been saying, and that it's not because people necessarily missed it, but because it didn't like demand attention, right? It just kind of exists, and if you hear about it, great. If not, then like, wow, you're missing out. But like, this isn't one like if I'm browsing Netflix or whatever the fuck, not Netflix, but if I'm browsing and like I saw this thumbnail, I'd be like, I would never click on this probably.
Right. It makes you wonder like what things you have to watch
even the description
in order for a movie like this to show up in your recommendation list.
Yeah. And
like, where do you go to get there?
And the other thing too is that like I love foreign films. I talk about it all the time. I love Korean movies. But like this is a foreign movie, but
Australian.
It wouldn't register in my head that like, oh, maybe this is good. But yeah, so having watched it for the first time, do you think it holds up, Marvin? What do you think?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think so. It holds up. It holds back. Like it, like I said, it felt like it came out before it even came out. So it's like
it did.
It's breaking all those time barriers, in my opinion.
And it still hits for you, Dusty, even after seeing it so many times?
Yeah. I mean, for a time period piece and a racing piece, for you to love it is, I think, probably more
tough customer.
It's more compelling to me than Marvin loving it because I feel like Marvin would have liked this. And I know because you have a problem with period pieces and you have a problem with racing. Marvin is, I think, a little more open to some of my suggestions than you are. So the fact that you liked it is a little bit more of a win for me than Marvin, even though I was hoping Marvin would love it, and I'm glad that he did. You liking it is probably more of a win for me.
All right.
Are you surprised that this is my best Dusty?
A little bit,
Pick.
yes. I mean, this is one of the greater movies I've picked, and I still, again, we haven't watched Lonesome Dove, and that's probably going to be my favorite of all time. And it's a
Yeah.
mini series, and I don't think we'll ever get to it because we don't watch mini series. So you're going to have to watch it on your own and just tell me. But yeah, this is one of the better picks I think I've pulled.
I just
in a
don't
while.
remember all the movies that you and I have picked. One of us should go through and like just
I could probably name them. I'm not even gonna lie.
all of them.
Like I could name.
I could name
feel
like
like I-
maybe 3. I just know like he definitely did Beverly Hills Cop.
Mhm.
This.
Man from Snowy River.
Man from Snowy River.
Yep.
Uh,
Shit.
there was the cop one last week, a couple weeks ago.
That was yours, wasn't
No,
it?
no, that was his. The one with Dan Aykroyd. Dragnet.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Dragnet.
Dragnet.
Heat was mine,
Forgot
yes.
about Dragnet.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. So
Okay, I can't name them.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're
What was the
200
Thanksgiving?
episodes in.
That was.
So
that
I
oh,
was
he
don't
yours
picked
know.
too,
he
right?
picked
That's-
he picked no, that was mine.
Oh,
He picked The Jerk. I know
There's
that.
got to be
that
like
was a good
30 movies between the two
I
of
know.
us that we've made you watch, so we're up to 60 almost.
He did Scent of a Woman.
holy shit!
He did Summer School.
Ooh, Sense of a Woman was really good too.
He did
though.
9
Yeah.
to 5. He's done Young
9 to
Guns.
5 was amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One
Young
of
Guns
you
was pretty
guys
good.
one of you guys do that. That's your homework for this week. Go through all the episodes. All you got just go on Spotify and just scroll through and just actually
Spotify, yeah.
go through on Spotify because I don't have them all released on YouTube. So go through Spotify and just see
Spotify, the OG.
which ones.
Yeah, I'll work on a list.
That's
I'll
the
procure a list of everything that you've made and watch and everything.
Yeah, I'm just
I'll go
curious.
through the Make Marvin watch, and I'll
We should-
procure a
we
list,
should make it
and
a
we'll
track
split it up.
list,
And
Dan.
yeah,
We should, yeah.
Put it in Discord or something.
That's a good idea. Tracked, baby.
I'll
Tracked.
start working on it. I don't know that I'll have it done by next week, but I'll
Hit us
start
up.
working on.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, anyway, so back to this one. Yeah, great movie. I think very understated, very low key, and that's exactly why I think it works.
Yeah.
Again, Anthony Hopkins carried it. Might be the best performance I've seen out of him. I mean, and he, obviously he's one of the best actors of all time. Hard to beat Hannibal Lecter, but this is a fantastic
that.
performance.
Yeah.
You've never seen
I think
Silence
there's
of
some-
the Lambs?
I haven't.
Oh my god!
Are you serious?
Was that 90s?
I thought you said you saw that.
Was that like 96 or something?
Yeah, I thought you said you saw that.
Nope.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
91.
We're failing you guys.
So
91.
yeah, this is also a
could I have
genuinely
seen it?
inspiring movie too, by the way, because it's like I feel like we didn't give it enough credit for that. Not that he's breaking the land speed record, that's also cool, but that he's like an older man, just like he's doing something that he wants to do in his life, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's a big part of this movie. Of
In
like
a time where it's not easy to do such
Yeah.
things like going to America.
he had to like
and
go on a
just rode on a
ship
boat.
and yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Exactly.
Well, the level of underestimation from beginning to end, also, you see it all the way through. Like his
Yeah.
neighbors, like, why mow your lawn? Quit waking up so early. Like, why can you stop it, please? God, you're an old man. Just
Yeah.
give it up.
Right.
Like the underestimation from beginning to like even getting there. Like, oh, this guy's old. This can't pass technical. Like he's just underestimated the whole time.
Yeah.
But he doesn't give up and he treats people right. And it's an amazing story of like, do the right thing, be the right person. And maybe you will achieve the goals that you set out to, because just doing right makes you successful.
Yeah, and also just like living
Doesn't make you a billionaire, though.
no,
but
doesn't,
well,
doesn't.
it will make you successful.
Also going
In
out
your
and
own
like
right.
living life, you know what I mean? Like experiencing things and doing things and getting out of your comfort zone. There's a big part of this movie where they talk about being scared because the kid asks him, "Are you ever scared when you go out of racing?" And he's like, "Nah." He's like, "What's the sense in being scared?" And it's like that's like a pretty good life lesson of like, don't be scared to do things or take risks, because that's where like life is. That's where adventure
Yeah.
is. And it's like in Hook when Captain Hook says death is the only the real great adventure, or whatever, the next great adventure.
Yeah.
There's no risk.
He also
There's no reward without risk.
Mhm.
He also said another thing about just like being alive or feeling alive is he's like 5 minutes on this bike is more than
Any
Yep.
people
No,
will,
yeah
Most people live in their
So it's
lifetime.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This shows like doing something that you really care about is worth it, even if
it kills you.
You work, yeah. Or even if it's only for a short amount of time that you get to experience it, like it's worth doing it.
And the average person can't really like. I don't think this level of perseverance is normal, for lack of a better word.
Not in today's world.
Yeah. So like, average people can't even, I feel like, relate to the guy aside from wanting to do something, but having the overwhelming drive to actually do it and see it through is very, very rare. Yeah.
I mean, the guy made the fastest Indian motorcycle in the world using no technology that any of these automotive manufacturers or racing manufacturers ever, like, just doing it in a shop with eyeballing and hand measuring and hand carving and hand
kitchen.
He did a lot of this stuff by hand without advanced tools. It's just impressive.
Oh yeah. Very impressive.
The brandy, he had the brandy
cork.
Yeah, the
thing.
gas cat. Yeah,
it was so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously he has an enduring legacy because at the end of the movie it says that he went back 6 times after that or something like that.
Yes. He'd been several times to the salt flat.
Yeah,
and had been beaten for sub whatever, I forgot what it was, 1,000 cc.
The 1,000 cc's, yep.
Yeah, and now
he got up to the record, I believe, is 189 miles per hour officially recorded, but then unrecorded he got up to like 205. So he doesn't have the record at 205. It's recorded at like 189, I think.
Yeah, it was so funny though, how much he was getting away with at some point.
Oh yeah,
with the plot armor, like when he was speeding. And that was
over by
speeding
the cop,
was fine at the time, but the not having a license or registration or anything. But it was some funny moments too in this movie.
Yeah, I thought it was very funny. I think the best moment of the movie, again, going back to his performance, best moment of the movie was that little speech he gives when they finally get there, and he's he says like, "This is." Kat agrees with me. He says, this is like holy ground. And he's like, I finally made it. And he gets that like little
that was so good.
lip quiver. Yeah. Just brilliant acting.
That's where I went like this was Hollywoodized a little bit because he'd been there one time without racing before he took his bike.
I mean, of course, there's a lot of stuff that's Hollywoodized, but that's fine. Yeah. You got to make a good movie.
That was like his pilgrimage to Mecca or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I really liked about this movie, it wasn't like, it wasn't as pronounced as it is in Forrest Gump, but Forrest Gump, a lot of that movie is about history through his eyes and how he's seeing a lot of these like major world events take place, but it's through the eyes of this one guy.
Oh, the Vietnam guy. Yeah.
The Vietnam guy really kind of like broke my heart because he says, I'm getting a little choked up. He says, oh, they're going to, because he doesn't even know about Vietnam, really, Monroe. He's like, oh, what's Vietnam? He's like, oh, really? Oh, I hope that's going well. When he says, oh, yeah, we're dropping Agent Orange on people, which now we know Agent Orange was like one of the most heinous things we've ever done.
Will be done in 6 months. Like
that killed me.
All the shit we're hearing right now.
That's what I was getting to. And he's like, they're saying we'll be there for another 6 months and then they'll send me home. And
it's so sad.
It's so sad because it lasted like 20 years or something like that, Vietnam. I mean, this was the movie takes place in 1967. So we were already like well into the war by that point because Vietnam really started like earlier. But anyhow, it wasn't lasting 6 months. Agent Orange was a heinous thing that we used. And the third part that really got me is that kid probably died.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just really sad that he's, man, it was probably the last time he's like saw his girlfriend. He's like, oh, I'm coming to visit my girlfriend, blah, blah, they're going to send
me. They do a great job of giving you that implication without telling you.
Yeah. And it's just, again, it's like, because the history of it and it's understated. So yeah, I don't know. There's just a great movie, great thing. But again, for me, it was like solely on I like, again, the racing part of it. Like, I know you wanted us to watch, you wanted me to watch it because it's a sports movie, but like, it's not even that to me, honestly. This was not.
But that's really what sports movies are to me. It's not necessarily about the sport itself. It's not like, oh my God, I love motorcycle racing. You have to watch this and you have to love motorcycle racing. It's that in individual sports, you have this adversarial
But a lot
and
of them are that.
triumphant. I have this adversarial and triumph.
Yes.
You have to overcome adversarial to be triumphant. And there are things that happen to you along the way individually that you can't account for.
Yeah.
And so it's an individual story. It's not necessarily a sports story, but you get those in individual sports. Like I don't necessarily think that this story is as like the Invincible story with Mark Wahlberg. It's football. It's a great story, but I don't think it's as triumphant as something like this because the individual.
Well, that's why I didn't
team.
like F1. That's exactly the reason.
Yeah, sure.
It's just a movie about nothing. It's a movie about racing. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Give me something. Give me a story. Give me
this
some
isn't about
character
racing. This
development.
is about
This is about the guy who happens to be racing. Same thing with Rocky. Rocky is the most famous sports movie ever made. It's not about boxing. It's about a boxer who is overcoming and persevering. Very similar story. Marvin's probably never seen Rocky.
I've seen Rocky.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I've seen every single Rocky.
No, that's okay.
I've definitely seen.
But like that's the thing. Rocky is it's very much has to do with boxing, but it's not about boxing.
Well, it's a love story, but yeah, the first one's a love story.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, yeah, you give me a sports movie, fine, but like you make it something. Sandlot.
Okay.
It's about baseball, but it's not about baseball. It's about growing up and about like the friends you meet and like how you lose touch over the years and just growing up in general. Again, remember the title.
So you like Rudy?
Rudy's a good movie. I haven't seen it in very many years though.
Okay. How about you, Marvin?
Rudy?
It's a movie that most men will admit to crying to.
I just don't have any.
I haven't seen Rudy.
I'm trying to point out. I don't have any like disdain for sports movies. It's just give me something along with
compelling story is good, sports or not.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. I'm starting to feel it out then.
But yeah, I love this. I'm glad Marvin you liked it.
Yep.
I'm glad you both loved it. I'm glad that you both watched it, and I'm glad I watched it again. It's a great movie. I think everybody who watches this channel should watch it.
Yeah, it's a great pick. This is the kind of movie, again, that people say they want more of, but it's the kind of movie that gets completely overlooked. And one that I would have overlooked had I seen it otherwise. But
yeah, this is the type of movie that we need in theaters.
Yes.
Like, this is the type of movie I would pay to see.
This movie would fuck bomb in the theaters if it came out today.
But the problem is, that's me saying it in hindsight as well, because like...
If this was out in the theaters right now...
Maybe if I saw the trailer, though, the trailer would portray it well. I didn't watch the trailer for this. Maybe I'll go back and watch it, but again, it's going to be hindsight, so it's hard to say.
Right. But yeah, I agree. Everybody should...
This is why we need time machines.
This is why. Go back to before you watched it, test yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, this was a great one. I do think everybody should watch it. It's very highly rated for those that have seen it. It's got a 7.8 on IMDb. Start with you, Dusty. Where would you rate it?
I mean, I'd give it a bump. This is an 8 for me. I don't know that. I'll give it a 9. This is perfect. It's a 9.
It's the Dusty Perfect. Okay. How about you, Marvin?
It's the Dusty Perfect.
This is a 10 for me, for sure.
Yeah. This is a 10? Okay. I would give it a 9. I think it's a very, very good movie. Very strong. Very close to perfect. I just wouldn't give it a 10 because I don't know that I would rewatch it. Nah, you know what? I would give it a 10. It's a 10 worthy movie for me. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think of the movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it and then get back to us and let us know what you thought about it. We do this once a week. We have our full schedule up now for the month of April. And you could see it over on our Discord. The Discord is free to join. The link is down below. Well, the link to our website is down below. In the website, you can find our Discord link. You can join for free and check out our schedule and watch along with us. Next week, we're going to be talking about Send Help. I'm very excited to watch that. That's the new Sam Raimi movie. I've been very, very excited to watch that. We got a couple of horror movies this month coming up that I put on the list. I'm thinking of maybe swapping one out for Scream 7. I didn't realize Scream 7 is already on digital, and I think it might be funny to watch it because Scream 6 is genuinely one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. So I think we might just have to watch it. We might need a roasting. Who knows? We'll see. But anyway,
we've been watching too many good movies.
Yeah,
maybe we're due for a roasting.
We're due. Well, you did.
Well, actually, no. You guys just roasted War Machine.
Did you watch Did you watch the episode?
Yeah. Yeah. But I'll never watch the movie.
Nah. No. You strategically.
You ain't missing much.
I know you didn't go to a comedy show. You just didn't want to watch War Machine. You called in sick that day.
Respect.
But yeah, so next week, send help. Join us next week, folks, if you want to hear our thoughts on
Hey,
that.
Raimi.
Subscribe if you have not done so already. Leave a like on the video. Last week, as you just heard, Dusty and I talked about War Machine. So if you want to check that out, you could click on the link. That'll be right over there. But we will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.
Asta.
See ya.